Hey, thanks for tuning in to this episode of BOS Marine. As you can see here, we have a brand new Mercury 154 stroke, not a C Pro, just your standard 4-stroke. This episode, I'm going to be showing you how to install a brand new Stingray hydrofoil. Now the purpose of that foil is to get your boat up on plane quicker and stop it from porpoising under certain speeds. Now if you don't know what porpoising is, all it is when the motor is a certain RPM, boat's on plane, the bow will start to just go up and down. No matter how much you trim it up, sometimes you can trim it in or trim it out, but the boat will just constantly go up and down in the bow, and it's quite annoying, kind of unsafe. So yeah, we're going to install hydrofoil on this, and I'll show you how it's done. So first off, before we get started, I'm going to show you guys a little bit about this hydrofoil. As you can see here, it's a Stingray Senior Classic Series. It's a bit different than their regular Senior. Pretty simple. I bought it from Land & Sea, which is owned by Mercury now, or Brunswick Corporation. And super quick to open, get out the packages. Just pop the orange handle off. And just split the casing in two. Comes with all the hardware. There it is there, as you can see, just a black piece of plastic. And then it comes with 4 1/4-inch pan-head screws with all the nuts. I won't take them out because they might fall. And yeah, also has the little rubber gaskets that we're going to put in between the fin and the cavitation plate to isolate it. Next, you're just going to need a measuring tape, drill with a pilot bit and 1/4-inch drill bit. I like to use masking tape just so we don't mark up the freshly painted surface. And a center punch. You can use a manual one with a hammer, or what I like is this snap-on one that's automatic. You just push it until it clicks, no swinging away. So first thing you're gonna want to do is wipe the surface down and put some masking tape on so we can make our markings and not risk damaging the fresh paint. Then we're gonna put the hydrofoil on there. They want it slid all the way back. I like to come back probably about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. Sorry, they want it slid all the way forward, but I like to have it back about 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/8 inch, depending on where it starts to sit flat. Because right now, if you push it all the way forward, it's just gonna ride up on the transition there where the cavitation plate rises. So we come back a bit, and then we can roughly eyeball it where it's centered and spaced in the groove here. What I do is take my center punch and lightly scribe around inside 2 of the holes. That way we can take it off and we can see approximately where the markings are. So then I'll just confirm that they're both spaced the same from the edge of the cavitation plate and the back of it. So this one's 1.25 and 1.5. So the other marking here, 1.5 inches. Inch. So I'm going to center punch the first one, like so. So before we drill our holes, I forgot to mention, we want to make sure that the holes don't go through the trim tab anode. Main reason for that is because it's a pain in the butt when you go to replace it. You have to drill it every time and remove the hydrofoil. And you also want to make sure that you buy the right one for your particular engine. They have such a big range on it. That one's for over 40 horsepower. They make ones for like kickers and stuff like that, but those ones aren't very common because it's not often you're going to be trying to get up on step with your kicker unless you're on of course, a small inflatable or a tin boat. So now that we got our placement marked, we made sure that the holes are not going to go through the trim tab zinc. I'm going to drill the very first hole, the pilot bit, trying to make it straight as possible. Motor's on an angle, so best we can do is eyeball it. Forgot to center punch this side here. Alright, now we've got our two first holes drilled. So now that we got our first two holes drilled, we're gonna knock this up. Like so. See how we like it. It's pretty centered. So now, unfortunately, it's going to be pretty tough to get these two holes in here because it has the secondary fin. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim it up, we're going to secure it on the bottom side, and we're going to mark those two holes and just blast it through underneath so that we keep everything in line. Alright, so it is secured in place right where we want it. Now, take that prop off first. Alright, so now we can line up exactly where we want our hole. Let's make a little mark. As you can see, the hydrofoil is upside down. That's so we can get our holes. They're the same pattern, so it doesn't really matter, but it won't mount the other way for us to line this up. Let's make our mark. Take it off, set it aside. As you can see, the holes or the marks all missed that pin, which is perfect for that zinc. Double check. Beauty. So, just do what we did with the first ones, drill your pilot hole. Now we drill our 1/4 inch. Awesome. So now, if you want to go the extra step, like I do, I've got this deburring bit or countersink bit. I like to just go in here, give it a slight taper and deburr it. You don't want to push too hard because cast is really soft, so it wouldn't take much to overdo it. And do the top ones as well. So this is what it should look like. Nice and clean. I'm gonna pull our tape off this side here. Off this side. There you go. Nice and clean holes. So now we're ready to install the hydrofoil. Now before we do that, we need to put some grease on the bolts before they go through, because this is now bare aluminum, which could be more sacrificial than this anode. So we're gonna put some grease on the bolts, push it through, and the kit comes with these rubber spacers that go between the hydrofoil and the top of the plate. And then the nuts just get set into place here because they are recessed. So I've got all my nuts installed. They give you two different lengths of screws. The longer ones go to the very back because the hydrofoil is much thicker. We're just gonna slide it in there with some grease, and then that's what the spacers look like. They will pretty much just sit on there like so, and I'll get my first screw started. I'll put all my rubber spacers in there. Oops. Alright, all those are tight. Now we're just gonna tighten them up. Now they're tight. So some people might call me a fire truck builder, but I like to make all my screws face the same way. So when someone looks at it, they're like, oh wow, that looks pretty good. But there you have it, folks. It's on there. Nice, strong. Trim this thing down, I'll show you what it looks like from the top. Wha-bam! And there you have it, folks. The Stingray hydrofoil. Not all boats need these, but if you have a porpoise problem, this most likely will fix it. Nice, clean, matches the motor. Nice little badge. And yeah, pretty much it. Shouldn't take too long to install if it's your first time. Yeah, I like it. Oh, that's the end of this how-to video. So I just want to say thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe. It truly means the world to me. And yeah, one more thing. When you guys do install these, make sure that you have clearance between your kicker and your main engine. Because the last thing you want is to be steering this thing, either the kicker while you're trolling or underway. I don't know why anyone would have their kicker underway or down while they're cruising, but you know, stranger things have happened. But yeah, you just want to make sure you don't hit the hydrofoil on the prop, and you got plenty of clearance. I already checked this, so we're good to go. But yeah, until next time, get back out there. Oh, check this out. Look at that. Damn! Stainless prop and all. Alright, here's some of the specs that they tell you. Gets boat on plane quicker, keeps boat on plane at lower speeds. Yep, definitely improves whole shot. Maximizes stabilization, and here's the #1 benefit right here. With the price of gas these days, you're gonna definitely want to install one of these, because yeah, you spend $100 on the hydrofoil, you might end up saving yourself 50 bucks over the course of 10 years, you know? Definitely outweighs itself. Oh, check it out. 4 drill installation. I only have 1 drill though, so I gotta go get 3 more. Another thing, if you got a white engine or gray engine, they'll give you color options for that. And there's the part number.